No drama, no long speeches, no tears. Am I a psychopath? Mombi is shaking her head saying, yeah. Yeah, this is literally an episode about me saying that I'm not too sure that I do know how to do that. Like genuinely, on a very serious note. Hey, or maybe that's why I'm not married. Welcome to another episode of OMG, another podcast. How have you been doing? I hope you've been well. I hope I actually watched this in November. It's my birthday month, and that's why I'm feeling colorful. So today we're talking about something that is very important, and I just figured out the other day. So this is not like a how-to. I don't have tips. I don't have advice. It's more of a confession. And what I'm confessing is I don't know how to forgive. The end. Like genuinely, I really don't know I don't know how to forgive. And I was like, yeah, I let things go quickly, but do I? So where did this come from? So I was talking to someone very close to me, and they had really, really, really deeply hurt me. And, they were saying sorry and asking for forgiveness. And I was like, it just hit me at that point. I don't think I know how to forgive. And if like we're fallen out, that's the end. Like, yeah, you've apologized, but then we're never going to be the same again. Whether it's friendships, whether it's romantic relationships, even my exes. Okay, first of all, I don't have exes, but if I had exes, they would tell you that we've never done a back and forth of like we're together, we're not together. We've forgiven each other. I forgive it. No, no. Especially if you hurt me deeply, and my mind cannot fathom why you did, what you did. It's over, and it's so bad. It's like my mind erases your existence. You would literally be my womb mate, or I don't know, my soulmate, and whatever other things that people say that are so deeply tied. But the moment in my mind it clicks that you're not a safe space for me, I'm in too much pain, I don't even know how to go back, that's kind of the end. No drama, no long speeches, no tears. I will fight with you when we're in the confines of a relationship or a friendship or whatever union that we have. But then once like there's a certain threshold, and I'm not even sure I know what that threshold is. All I know is when I think a certain way, it is done, truly. And I'm not talking about those friendships, for example, whereby, life happens and then, you just lose touch, or you're not as close anymore because life happens. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about like there was beef, there was hurt, there was something that happened that really deeply affected me. And I guess I just don't know how to get over things. And I've realized that I don't know if it's a protective mechanism for protecting my heart and my brain. I'm not too sure what it is, but there's something that clicks that it's like you're almost dead to me and you never existed. And I don't know if it's a good thing, but I got it from my mom. My mom is also the same. She moves on very quickly. It's like, yeah, we're done. Good. And so for me, that thing that people say on the internet, once I tell my mom, like it's a wrap. No, but for me, it's so serious. Like once I unpack and I tell her 1, 2, 3, this is exactly how you hurt me and what happened. And she's also like, yeah, that was quite disrespectful. We will never see you the same again. You'll never have the same access to me again. And that is the end, capiche, whether you're a friend, whether you're a lover, a previous lover, the ex that I've never had, and all those things. So I was just thinking to myself, is that a flaw? Is that like something that I need to, I don't know, guess unpack and work through? Am I losing out on connections that mean much and have never really? And then the funny thing I realize is I've never been in a place where I've had like a moral dilemma about it. It just feels final. It feels, I don't even have hate. I don't even have bitterness in my heart. I don't even have per se strong feelings about it. It's just done. And there's almost like a peace and release to it. So I think for me, the reason why I've never seen it as like a red flag within myself, or something that I need to address is because I've never felt any conflicting feelings about it. So like, when you're no longer in my life, I don't feel like, oh my gosh, Jerry was such a good friend of mine. I think maybe we should reopen. I have no feelings of that. Like someone will mention the supposed Jerry and I'll be like, oh yeah, and feel nothing. And that makes me very scared because I'm just like, am I a psychopath? Mombi is shaking her head saying, yeah. But the thing is, the truth is, I do feel deeply. I'm very attached to my people, whether you're my friend, but as long as you're someone very close to my heart and my life, you're my person. You're my ride or die. But I feel like, especially, and that's what I'm saying. This is not even like a tip, a confession, or like it's just a confession. I don't know how to walk back. I think for me, my mind and my heart are not able to comprehend the hurt that you caused and the pain that you caused, and you still being a safe person for me and me calling you my person, um, depending on what was done and the betrayal. And for me, how I see forgiveness is that forgiveness is accepting what happened and releasing the weight of it. And for me, releasing the weight of what happened comes with releasing you. And I do know that obviously not all forgiveness comes with reconnection. But for me, I have realized that I don't believe that someone has hurt me that deeply where I've been able to successfully reconnect with that person, even if we somewhat tried. Luckily for me, I think I also unpacked this in the friendship edition of the pod episode. I talked about female friendships. Luckily for me, I've not had dramatic female friendships. I've not had like crazy fallouts. I've not had things that made me feel like, oh my gosh, how do we work back to each other? We've not had conflict per se. Where I have experienced such conflict is with past, romantic partners. And that's why I've never been able to go back to any of them. And it's not because of an ego thing. I am one person who is very shameless. If I love you, you will know it. I always say this to people like, if I die tomorrow, you'll absolutely know that how I felt about you. If I loved you, you'll absolutely know that completely 100%. So I don't have an ego thing. I have no shame. If I miss you, I will say I miss you. I'll pick up the phone, I'll call, I'll text. Shame is maybe afraid of me, to be honest, at this point. And yeah, so but I've not been able to successfully reconnect, especially with a wound that has been very deep. And the reason I'm saying that and I'm bringing this up is, like I said, this has happened with someone very close to me, and I don't know what the steps are. I went to the internet and they had steps of, before you even rebuild a relationship, you have to rebuild safety. So you have to figure out what the parameters of safety are. Is it like, honest communication? Is it timely communication? Maybe one of the reasons why you fell out was you didn't get, clear communication about something before that made you feel blindsided. So one of the ways you can create safety and rebuild trust is if there is more forthcoming information about something, for example. So, and for me, I was like, okay, that's cool, but it would feel so like forced and mechanical because at the back of my mind, I remember. And the brilliance about my mind, the beauty and the curse about my mind is I remember everything. I'll probably remember what we were wearing. I'll probably remember where I was seated if we were having a phone call. I probably even remember maybe the sense around. So you can't gaslight me or try to downplay the situation. It's like you're almost taking me back to the time, place, frame of mind I was in when the hurt was occurring or happening. So, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the fact that my mind is not able to separate the the feeling from what I felt. Because, and like I started by saying, I feel very deeply. So I'm not able to separate that feeling because it's almost like it's happening again for me. It's very fresh. It's very raw. And then there is just, I think, something that happens in my mind where it clicks and it's like, okay, this is not a safe person. It's not someone we can trust. And therefore, our relationship never necessarily goes back to what it was again. And yeah, that's why I started by saying this is not like for tips. I think there are so many tips online. Also, the Bible talks about forgiving your neighbor, and obviously someone asked Jesus like, how many times are you supposed to forgive someone, and he's like 70 times 7. And it's like, okay, that's a lot of times. And basically the principle was, you're not supposed to keep score of how many times you're forgiving someone, because because of his grace and his mercy, and he's forgiven us. And so that's something I struggle with, and it's something that I need to figure out and probably sit more with, especially if it's someone you probably can't get rid of completely, um, or you don't want to, but there's hurt that has been caused. How do you trust someone again who has betrayed you? How do you, make them feel safe? How do you also not have to bring them in, slap them in the face again and say, but that time in November of 2023, this is exactly what you did, and it was at 5 p.m. And I'm those people because I'm so detail oriented, and you can't do that, especially when you decide to forgive someone. Yeah, this is literally an episode about me saying that I'm not too sure that I do know how to do that, like genuinely, on a very serious note, and especially when it comes to forgiveness and reconnecting, which makes me concerned if I ever do get married, then, because we hear a lot of couples saying, marriage is a lifetime of forgiveness. Hey, or maybe that's why I'm not married, because I've not been doing this forgiving thing. You know what I mean? With like partners, I'm so brutal. Like that for me was a deal breaker, and that's the end. Bye. Because I also feel like sometimes when you forgive someone, isn't it almost like letting them get away with the thing that they did wrong? Because you will talk, so according to the steps of how you're supposed to forgive someone is have the conversation about what happened. You get the apology, they ask for the forgiveness, and then you start rebuilding the place of trust and emotional safety. And then obviously things cannot go back to what it was, because that's how you got into this place in the first place. So now you have to be in a place where you're building something new. You have parameters and checks and balances to make sure that you're feeling safe, and you're also not punishing this person unfairly. And then, yeah, and then you keep on, and it's something that it's in action, so it's something that is in action. But for me, I feel like sometimes it's too hard. Like, what's the point? you know Today you may do it, and then also, especially if it's something that is so deeply embedded in someone as like a habit or a character flaw, it means there's a big possibility they'll do it again, not probably to the same degree, but they may actually do it again, and I'm not having that. That's why I cut people off. So I really do struggle with the principle of forgiveness, and it's not something that I thought I did. I thought I'm cool, like we can talk about it. But the things that really pierce my heart, I'm not good at that. The ones that really, I'm very sensitive actually. I don't know if you know this or have noticed, I'm very sensitive and emotional. So anything that really hurts me that deeply, it's almost like a death. Like, what? And it's almost like my mind can't comprehend it. Like, you're my person, you're my friend, you're my, I don't know, you're my parent. I can't believe you did that. There are things I remember that happened to me even when I was as young as in primary school or kindergarten. I even remember the kid who who bullied me in kindergarten. You, Alex Mbogwa. Hope you've become a better human being. But I do remember, and that's the kind of person I am. It's hard. I don't know how to let things go and really be of a clean heart. And do you ever really do that? Do you ever really, I don't know, let it go? Um, yeah, so this is a very vulnerable, I guess, episode for me, because I'm being honest about, like, I don't have a solution, I don't have tips. I think we can find those principles in the Bible. I've also talked about what Jesus's view on this is. I've talked about also what the internet says you're supposed to do it, and obviously a bunch of psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists talk about how you're supposed to do the process of rebuilding and forgiving. But in practical sense, I struggle with that, especially in intimate, very intimate relationships like friendships or romantic relationships. And it's something, like I mentioned, it's my birthday month. It's something that I clearly need to figure out one way or another. Because, like I said, like for example, if I plan to get married and then it's a lifetime of forgiveness. So you think I can't bolt after 2 years because you did some like fucked up shit? I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, let me know if you have any tips or just an experience. Please share with me an experience for real that really challenged you and you were able to forgive. You were able to look past it. You were able to heal and fully let it go, and what that process looked like. And if you have any tips other than the ones that I've mentioned, and the generic stuff that we hear, what that looks like. I know some of you are going to tell me prayer. I'm a very prayerful person, but I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the heart of Jesus like that. And it's something that maybe I'm supposed to be learning in my new year. And that's why I'm reflecting on it during my birthday month. But I hope this spoke to you in some way. This is something that has made you think about, forgiveness as well. The people who have hurt you in your life. What have you done about it? How have you let go so that you're not living with that weight? Or if you're like me, there's no weight because you dropped them. You dropped the weight plus the person. But what's the balance there? I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. So, like I said, this one was a vulnerable one for me. I have not figured it out. I don't even know where to start. But I think it's a good place for me to start talking about it. And I hope you can share experiences with me. But as always, thank you so much for being here. I'm at home. I'm at Herway Studios, who are my production partners. Make sure reach out to them, amazing team. And also make sure that you connect with us on our social media platforms. That is at OMG Another Podcast. We are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where you can catch up with this episode, as well as all other episodes and future ones to come. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, everything. We want to hear from you. But thank you so much for being here. Until next time.